So anyway, let's take a look at the next article on Hal's site. Bulletin, French nuclear submarine source code stolen. So if you wanted some good news, I guess this would not be it. Naval Group. This is the image here on Hal's site. Just days after announcing support to Gaza, France's largest defensive shipbuilder, the Naval Group, got hacked. Criminal hackers claim responsibility for the attack. The hackers have allegedly given Naval Group 72 hours to pay a ransom, or all the data will be leaked online for free. Let's take some guesses here in chat. Who do you suppose the hackers were? From what country do you think the hackers originated? Keep in mind, France just recently came out in support of Gaza and the Palestinians. So I'll give you one guess in the chat. Let's see who gets it right. What country would be behind this? I mean, it's as obvious as the nose on my face. Go on, take a guess. The hackers allegedly possess approximately 1 terabyte of internal data, including classified CMS source code, deployment guides for submarines and frigates, network data, technical documents marked with classifications like restricted distribution in special France, developer virtual machines with naval simulators, and intercepted internal communications. 13 gigabyte sample of the leak has reportedly been shared to prove that the hackers do have the actual information. Again, what country do you suppose? Yep, Emily got it. Of course. So did Shofar News. Way to go. Is there anyone else that could really be? Anyone at all? Israel. Obviously. Israel has the Mossad, of course. They have some of the most high-tech cyber systems worldwide. Probably the most, actually. And, of course, they're the ones that hacked here. They hacked the French Naval Group systems here. It says a research team reviewed portions of the sample and concluded that it does appear to contain legitimate Naval Group materials. Among the leaked files were multimedia assets, including video from what happens to be a submarine monitoring interface. However, that video was dated 2003, which raises questions about the timeliness and potential operational relevance of some of the data. Researchers also found excerpts from CMS data and contractual information related to defense systems detailed that, if valid, could pose a serious national security risk to France and the wider European defense landscape. So I wonder who it was. You suppose it was Emmanuel or Brigitte whose fault this was? I'm just joking, but we're going to look at that in a little bit as well. What Candace Owens has to say to the Macrons recently. But it's interesting how this story has now come up to sort of cover up the Brigitte Macron is a man story. It's interesting how everything is tied together, isn't it? All right, now I mentioned this briefly earlier, so this is something we need to take a look at. Candace Owens delivers explosive response after Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron sue her for claiming that Brigitte was born a man. Yeah, well, let's let Candace explain it. She does a better job than I could. So here's what she has to say. Watch Candace double down on Brigitte Macron being a man in response to getting sued.
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. We'll figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. We're going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away, and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
Wow. How about that? I think she means business, don't you? So we'll see where it goes. Yes, they would not want that to get to discovery at all because, well, for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't think the judge is going to ask Mr. Brigitte there to drop his drawers, but I mean, it could be potentially really embarrassing. It could definitely put him through some sort of him/her through some sort of medical situation where his blood is looked at, his/her blood is looked at. I don't know. She makes some good points there. Discovery is the thing that they would want to avoid at all costs. So look for this thing to probably end before it ever gets started. So yes, they're looking all tough, but keep in mind the other story I mentioned at the beginning of this show was that the French submarine company losing its nuclear codes. I think that might have a little something to do with all of this as well. And let's go after Candace and deflect what's actually going on. So, I don't know. I don't really think that that's ever going to see the light of day as far as court goes, but it is interesting for sure.